Welcome back to another episode of Sports Wrap. I'm back. And it's me, Agatha, and...
Me, Naveen. And before we start, I have to notice, I'm getting a little blinded right now. Agatha, I think something's shining really strong. Oh, there it is.
but
yes.
I'm so glad to be back.
And we are back at Sports Wrap. It's our first episode of me and Agatha for this year, and we're looking forward to talk about what's coming up and what's happened as of late.
And we just finished watching the PBA finals unfold. Super exciting, and a lot of people who don't normally watch the PBA were super hooked to their screens because it was exciting to see Meralco and Ginebra battling it out for the championship.
Right. So Ginebra, as we all know, is a fan favorite. They're the most popular franchise in PBA history. It was an interesting finals, Agatha, because heading into the series, everyone knew that the last two times Ginebra and Meralco faced each other in the finals, Ginebra won, diba? So this time they were saying there was a lot of expectations that okay, this is Meralco's time, especially because they had Alain Maliksi and they had Raymond Almazan, two quality players. Almazan got hurt in the middle of the series, but I think the main story, the main takeaway was that Japet Aguilar is just a superb player. The way he was playing defense, offense. Obviously, Justin Brownlee, we all know how good he was going to be, and he lived up to that hype. He outplayed Alan Durham of Meralco. But just to put a highlight on Japet, the way he's improved from when he started, you know, when he was in Ateneo, then he had this journey in the United States. He comes back here. There's expectations. He doesn't really live up to it. And since being under head coach Tim Cohn, he's really shown the full potential of his capabilities, and it's just so fun to watch because he can affect the game in so many ways.
Yeah, it was such a joy to watch him play. It was like in 2K, he was just hitting like blocking and dunking combos over and over again. I was having so much fun watching that. But also, by the way, Alain Maliksi just welcomed a new baby boy with his wife.
Congratulations to Alain for that. And who knows, maybe we'll see Meralco back again, maybe in the Governor's Cup, maybe the next conference. I think that they have nice young players like Baser Amer.
Yeah.
He was a college star a few years ago. Now he's making a name for himself in the PBA, but especially in the third conference, especially when Ginebra has Justin Brownlee, it's clear that they are always the favorite. And with all these pieces now, you still have Greg Slaughter, Stanley Pringle. Remember you were mentioning him earlier. He was big time in the finals. And you still got like veterans like Mark Aguiwas coming back. You got Joe Devans. It's going to be interesting to see how many more Ginebra can win with the score.
Yeah, and also with Pringle in Ginebra, a lot of the players were saying that they really did want to win this championship for him, to let him experience how it's like to be in, you know, a winning team like that. So
yeah, that's a pretty good strategy. I want the championship. Let's go to Ginebra.
Yeah.
It's like almost an assured championship.
Yeah, that's true. So it's been almost a month since UAAP ended, but we haven't quite moved on yet. And there's a lot of things still unfolding, and we are still up to date. We're always up to date, right, Naveen?
And that's why we're the wrap, right? You know, sports, never mind.
But yeah, we have a lot of transferees to schools. Very exciting. So update us, Naveen. What's up?
Well, the biggest news about a transferee this past offseason so far is Dave Ildefonso from NU to Ateneo, because Ateneo needed more reason to get stronger, of course. But of course, there's some history there. Dave became a high school star with Ateneo before he moved to NU for college because his dad was an assistant coach. And there's a new coaching staff for the Bulldogs. Coach Goldwyn is now in charge, replacing Coach Jamai. But part of the movement there is that Dave's dad, Danny, one of the greatest PBA players ever, has been removed from the coaching staff. In essence, really that factored into Dave deciding that he wanted to move on as well. Now, we also have to mention Dave's older brother, Sean, who has only one more year of UAAP eligibility left, is going to play his final season with the Bulldogs. But Dave is now going to go through residency, 1 year, and come 2021, he's going to suit up for Ateneo, which is probably good timing because then he'd be with his teammates in high school, like SJ Belangel. They helped lead Ateneo to a championship, and now they're going to try to do the same in the senior level. And we all know how good Dave is as an individual player, diba? Like, he can go one-on-one, he can shoot three-pointers, he can give you 20 points, he can get rebounds for you, he can even pass to teammates. it'll be interesting to see how he performs in Coach Tab Baldwin's system, because Coach Tab Baldwin's system doesn't highlight the individual abilities of player. It's more about the team effort, moving the ball around, finding the right shot always. But knowing Dave and knowing how competitive he is, my guess is he will fit in seamlessly.
Yeah. I like what you said about how Dave is going to be playing with his former teammate. And usually, like in basketball, when you get to play with someone for a long time, you really develop like good chemistry. Yeah, which is important, like what you said with Coach Tab Baldwin and the way his basketball system is. You know, chemistry is important, and that's something that I think a lot of people should expect from Dave. You know, not really having a hard time adjusting, since he's familiar with the system anyway.
And in other transfer news also, just recently actually, the De La Salle Green Archers under new head coach Derek Pumaran, they've started training under him. They're trying to make a culture change there in PAF after all the turnovers the past few years. And one of the big moves they've made was acquiring a transfer from San Beda, Evan Nelly. And Evan, he was a solid player in his 2 years as a Red Lion. He actually made the mythical 5 as a sophomore, and he was second in MVP voting. And I was actually talking to him a few days before he announced that he was moving to La Salle, and it was something that he was really thinking about, that's why he missed practices with San Beda. He said this because he wanted to really carefully weigh his decision. Now, there are rumors going around that there's a family factor there. Evan's family is close to Derek. He denies this. His explanation was he wants to spread his wings. He wants to spread his wings, and that includes going to TAF, where he's very close with Aljun Melesio. They share the same skills coach. He also said that they talk quite often. So we'll see, because Evan comes at a good time. Like, first, La Salle just lost Joel Cagulangan to UP. Right? Joel was a former NCAA Juniors MVP, but now he's going to UP. But, you know, getting someone like Evan makes up for it, and it will be good timing, because by the time Evan's ready to play, Aljun's career in college will be done.
Yeah, so it looks like we might have you wearing maroon again.
Yeah, maybe. We shall see about that. But even UP, they lost Will Gozum.
Yes.
Which I think is a big loss. Now, that was a little bit of a strange fit, because Will didn't find the playing time, and it seems like he wanted to have playing time. But he has potential.
Yeah. He was put in the lineup, right? And then he didn't have any playing time. And I think, you know, if you're a player, you get impatient. Of course, you only have 5 playing years.
Yeah.
So you really do want to show, you know, what you can do.
Right.
And considering his history as he was MVP, right? In NCAA.
Yeah.
So, you know, he can do a lot.
Yeah,
but
like imagine going from MVP to not getting
playing time. And, you know, we feel for him. But he's still deciding on where to go. Well, as a basketball fan, where do you think he would fit the most? Like a team?
Well, there's some news that UST, CSB, and I believe NU also is recruiting him.
Yeah.
There are also some other schools there that haven't been mentioned, but he's someone that teams are going to want to recruit. Now, he's a little undersized to play big man in college, but he's athletic, and like you said, he was an MVP, so he has potential, right? So that's the kind of player the teams always try to get, you know, players who have the potential to be game changers, but just need the proper opportunity to show that. And that's also why Cagulangan left La Salle and went to UP.
Yeah.
Because if Joel stayed in La Salle and La Salle got Evan, and you still have Aljun and you have Encho Serrano, Cagulangan realized he might not get that much playing time, and I think that factored in to why he went to UP, especially because the Maroons just lost June Manzo.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of UP, speaking of players that we would wish to stay and, you know, to have them locked down in the team, we're not sure if Juan and Javi Gomez-Soriano are still playing. They said that they're still going to decide after their game with Mighty Sports, which is ongoing right now. They have a game in Dubai.
Yeah. Well, from what I'm hearing, there's a higher likelihood right now that Javi returns than Juan. But take note, first, there's still a chance that Juan does come back, because I'm hearing that he wants to end his college career in a good note. Last season didn't really end well. But also with Javi, it's not sure yet. It's 50-50 because Javi has really improved his game, and I know that a lot of PBA teams are already interested to have him.
Yeah, that's true.
And one more thing I'm gonna say, I don't think this is the end of all our news about transferees
Yeah.
in college basketball. I think there is more to come, trust me.
And knowing us here at Sports Wrap, we're gonna be watching everyone.
On top of it.
Yeah. And now we move on to UAAP volleyball, which is starting soon for UP. Very exciting, much to the joy of the UP volleyball fans. Most of their veteran players are coming back. And of course, by veteran players, we mean Isa Molde, Tots Carlos, Maristela Layog, Justine Dorog, Rem Kailing, and sadly, no more Marian Butre because she has graduated already.
From what I hear, they no longer want to be, or they're no longer going to be referred to as the Lady Maroons. They're also going to be called the Fighting Maroons in volleyball as well. So we'll see. Maybe that name change can spark something.
Yeah.
You know? And their goal is to make the Final Four. It's a rebuilding season. So the championship might not get there right away, but they haven't made the Final Four the last 2 years. So even if they do make the Final Four in the upcoming season, that's considered a victory.
That's exciting. And that's a very UP thing to do, changing their name because Fighting Maroons, right? Girl power.
Exactly, right? And of course, one of the teams they're going to try to beat are their neighbors, right
Yes.
across, Ateneo, which is also strong because Kat Tolentino is coming back. Joanna Maraginot, after sitting out last season, is going to play this year. They have a standout stellar rookie from NU, Faith Nesperos. So you also have the other contenders there. LaSalle, always in the conversation. Coach Ramil De Jesus, of course. You have NU, always dangerous. And who knows, maybe we might get a surprise team. You know, FU is always interesting. UST, even if they don't have CC anymore, they still have Laure, who's a very good talent. And maybe Adamson or UE could surprise us.
Yeah,
That's the
we
best
agree.
part about the UAP, whether basketball or volleyball or even football. At the beginning, it just feels so wide open and that anything can happen. But we know who the prime are, right? The
Yeah.
prime teams are right now.
But we might just have a wild card, like what you said.
Exactly. That's the beauty of sports, right? When surprises come out of nowhere.
And we'll find out real soon when UAAP volleyball starts.
And we'll have all the coverage for you weekly.
And now moving on to the Olympics, which will happen in 6 months to be exact. That's so near. So near. And we have 2 athletes that were able to qualify already. And that's EJ Obiana and
Carlos
Carlos Yulo.
And we have more qualifying, right?
Yeah, we have more qualifying and a lot of them are girls. We have Juna Chuki for karate, Heidelin Diaz, of course, who won silver in Olympics, as we remember. And
Historically.
yes, first in 20 years since Onyok Velasco. And also we have Nesty Petesio, our world boxing champion. We have Margie Dedal for skateboarding, Kiyomi Watanabe for judo, and Yuka Sasso for golf, who won the Asian Games and won gold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, of course, we have the 3-on-3 team trying to qualify, which would be big for Philippine sports because it's basketball, but it's a different area of basketball. But you know, when you were listing down the names of our potential qualifiers, the Philippines is trying to send 38 athletes overall to the Olympics in Tokyo. A lot of the names that you mentioned are female athletes, and I find that very interesting. It actually reminds me of the time when the Avengers, all the really bad, can I say the word? Okay, all the really great female characters of Avengers came together in that final movie. But you know, how cool would it be if Nesty Petesio becomes the next great Filipino boxer after Manny Pacquiao? I think it's superb because it also is a representation of how the times are changing, how women are getting the highlight for their abilities and their potential. I'm sure that makes someone like you very proud.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we always say that women have always wanted to be successful in the sports that they participate in. But more than that, it's really just, you know, them being able to you're right. Like, get the spotlight on them,
Right.
and so stereotypes are broken. And when stereotypes are broken, they get more support. They get, they get more. Well, a lot of people get inspired to actually start,
Right.
being active in their sports despite their gender, despite all the stereotypes. It's breaking barriers.
They get coverage also for their abilities and their accomplishments on their respective sports fields rather than, oh, prettiest female athletes in the Philippines,
Yeah.
like stuff like that, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think that's a great transition. Now, there's still work to do, of course, but what's awesome is over the next few months, including these athletes that you've mentioned, and then you take into account we have UAAP volleyball, we still have PPL, we have Philippine Superliga. It's great that these women get the avenue to showcase their abilities.
Yeah, exactly. And one of our athletes who are qualifying for the Olympics, Hylindia, she's known for, having the, rally other Filipino athletes, other women athletes. And it all starts, with someone like that and outspoken female athletes
Right.
also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun to chronicle all of that over the next few months, next few years, and hopefully the next few decades.
And just like what Naveen said, it's like that scene in the Avengers where they're all together, some are holding skateboards and weights.
Exactly. And if you're different sports, so let's watch out for all of that.
And that's all for now, but of course, we're gonna be on top of everything. There's gonna be more exciting stuff. Of course, things to look forward to. We have, in 6 months, we have the Olympics, but we're also about to start UAAP volleyball and other UAAP sports, so that's something exciting. And soon, in March would be the next PBA conference.
Yes.
So, and that's the All Filipino Conference, right? So that's also exciting. But yes, we will be here, and if you want to be on top of it, just make sure to watch Sports Wrap.
Well, I think that wraps it up. That's a wrap.